you know as well as I do that when you're a service provider, sometimes it's really hard to set clear boundaries in terms of the scope of work you're being paid for with a client, right? And I'm not saying for this particular client that you've had any issues, but just in general, you know how sometimes someone may hire you, let's say, for social media management, but then in your weekly check-ins or your monthly reports, they all of a sudden start asking questions or asking you, hey, can you do this quick little favor and like upload this blog, right? Even though it has nothing to do with your service. And what we call that in the industry is scope creep, where a client gradually just creeps, like outside of the boundaries of like what they're actually paying you for. And it can be very hard for a lot of people, especially starting out, to say no to their clients. And so they just keep on adding more and more work for no extra pay. So because you have mastered this, you were able to answer his questions in a way that actually upsold him into new services. Can you talk to us about walking that line between answering questions outside of the scope of work you're hired for, but also making sure that you're not taken advantage of and just doing free consulting work for things you're not being paid for?
Yeah, so it's actually a really simple thing that I figured out. It took trial and error and stuff like that, and I have let go of clients like since then, that don't respect those boundaries. So you're removing revenue, right? But you're also gaining freedom when people aren't respecting those boundaries. But in my contract, I actually have an hourly rate of out of scope services that I include. So anytime a client wants something additional, right? It's not in the scope. They can ask me a question, but when it turns into something more, they actually have to pay me that hourly rate, which, if you're getting paid an hourly rate versus a monthly retainer, that adds up rather quickly. So then that approaches the conversation, hey, we've done 15 hours at our hourly rate. Do you want to maybe turn this into a retainer, help you save money, but that way we can make you a priority in future months?